to another Mr. Beauty Bite video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as it's going to be a little bit shorter. And we're just looking at one subject, and that's the resurfacing of Betamax upper drums and lower drums as well, but primarily upper drums because they seem to be what get the most abuse. So, I had a few people ask about this one and how I actually do it, and I have actually changed how I do it from what I've mentioned in previous videos. So this is what I've found to be the perfect way to resurface them. Now there are other methods, of course. Popular one is to use an ink eraser, which is fairly abrasive, just to literally take the shine out of the worn section of the drum. Another one is to use kitchen cleaner with a sort of a fairly abrasive action to it, and I'm not a fan of either of those really, just because they're a little bit on the light side, and also I do worry about contamination. Now, the method I use, there is contamination, but you'll see that because it's like a multi-stage approach, I do get rid of that contamination really well. So yeah, let's crack on. So next, the ingredients, and to do this you're going to need the primary component. The most important part is Scotch-Brite. Now this is, it looks like sort of packing foam almost, but it's actually a lightly abrasive, or well, relatively abrasive material. But what I like about it is you have a lot of control of how much you're actually roughing up the surface with this. It's very efficient, very effective. You can do quite a uniform spread as well, which I'll show you. Then you need Brasso and isopropyl alcohol and a really good, clean, soft cloth. This is actually brand new out of a packet, and I do tend to just keep a cloth for this process and use it up basically, and then it goes to wash. So let's crack on. So looking at these drums, one I've already done, which you might have seen in a previous video, and you can see there that it is pretty much perfect. The slight downside of using the Scotch-Brite is you do get scratches in odd directions, but overall it's a uniform sort of surface. And to be honest, I mean, I've run a machine now for probably a couple of 100 hours with using one of these drums, and it's showing no signs of degrading at all yet. So that's brilliant. So let's have a look at these. This one's probably the worst, although they're all fairly bad. You see that one there has quite a defined shiny bit there, and then this one is also pretty bad. So let's get these done. Let's start with the one with the shiny mark across the top. There's obviously some strange alignment going on with the machine this was from. I seem to remember there was. I was just pulling more at the top of the tape. So get your Scotch-Brite, and basically you're going pretty much from where the tape enters the drum to where it exits. So I just go round. I just want to make sure I don't go around the back where it fixes to the actual drum assembly itself. You don't want to do that because you might actually start affecting the alignment, albeit ever so slightly, but that is enough. I will say in doing this I have had no problems with alignment at all. They've always gone back in absolutely fine. So you can see there, hasn't taken much, haven't used much pressure either. and that has actually totally removed that line. Now what I tend to suggest is that you basically go until you can't see where the tape's been running, and that's pretty much where this is up to. It's pretty perfect. So yeah, so let's do, I'm only going to do one more because you can see what the effect's going to be. And I'm going to do this one because this one's pretty bad as well. Another C9 early upper drum. So these are the softer alloy. The later ones are this, like this type, are actually a harder, slightly harder alloy, so they shouldn't wear as much. That one's got something going on there. Now, I do tend to do this. I go side to side. I never go up and down, just in case. And you don't really want sort of vertical lines, vertical scratches. You want to keep them as horizontal as possible. Now, the nature, obviously, of this, it's random. The friction surfaces are random relative to the head drum. But how are we looking? Yeah, you can see there. You can still see where the tape's been running, so that's still not quite enough. Now, I will say, obviously, you do this at your own risk. But they are old machines, and it's anything to keep them going. And like I say, I've found this the best way to accomplish that sort of properly running deck, especially when it comes on, especially with the older machines with the rewind side of things. You really notice it if you've got a shiny drum. But also, like on C9s with shiny drums, where the you get problems with judder because of the nature of the reels. So I've got just a tiny bit of swirling going on there. So just trying to get it nice and sort of even, so you can't see any real defined scratches or marks. Just want it as uniform as possible. So yeah, so that's 2 drums done. Now the problem is if I rub my finger across there, just do it right the way around. Well, you can see that, you can see on my hand there, I've got black coming off, and I found what I was doing was just cleaning with Isopropyl, giving it a really good clean, but that wasn't enough. So I added an extra step where I used some Brasso or something similar, and I just give it a clean with Brasso. Now, I have to say, this one isn't too bad. Some of the drums, when you do them, you can see the black there starting to appear. Yeah, this is the same. I was going to say this doesn't seem so bad for losing its residue. It is. So you can see there just how much that's removing, and yeah, you don't want that getting into your tapes and into your tape paths. So now give that a jolly good clean. Now, I did have somebody comment that by doing this, aren't you removing your good work? And I can say you're not. So unfortunately, you can't hear that, but you've still got a good surface. There's a good cushion there. Again, you're not going for it with the Brasso. You're not pressing hard or whatever. You're just gently wiping it just to remove the residue. So that's all done. So the next thing is the isopropyl. I'm going to use the same cloth. I do actually tend to use like a chamois type thing, but it doesn't matter. Isopropyl and the soft cloth, as long as it's good and clean, is absolutely fine. You can see there's barely anything coming off there. The only mark I've got as well, I've managed to miss a bit of Brasso on the top. Might as well make sure it's nice and clean throughout. And then I use a dry piece of cloth, dry clean, just to finish it off. There we go. So there we have it. You can see there that that is actually really nice. You can see it's got a decent surface back again. You can feel it with your nail. And yeah, I found it very successful. You can see the difference there between the back there, where the treated part of the upper drum is. So I have done a couple of lower drums as well, only where I've stripped whole machines apart. The lower drums don't tend to suffer so bad, I've found, but if I'm stripping them apart and taking the heads off, I will just clean the lower drum as well. And what I'll do for those is I'll try and follow as much as possible the line of where the tape goes. So you see here, this one has got a shiny bit there, and that's actually quite difficult to get to, but it's not impossible. With care and a bit of time, you can do it. But yeah, that's how I'm. See, that one's pretty worn. That's how I recondition the upper drums, and like I say, I've found it very successful. So far, so good. Obviously, it's no sweat as and when it needs doing again. It's no sweat to do it, but it seems to last a good time and works really well, and seems to not cause any issues with the machine and alignment and all the rest of it, and contamination. So yeah, so with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it made sense. And please like and subscribe as well. And got quite a few more videos to come on various machines as well. Quite a few different things. So I look forward to seeing you in another video. Bye for now.